Logan the Layman Critic here. Today I'll be reviewing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Directed by Sam Raimi from 2022, it stars Benedict Cumberbatch. Heads up for some spoilers. Let's talk movies. Doctor Strange has a dream of demons hunting a teenage girl. These dreams soon become a reality when he encounters that very same girl while facing off against an octopus monster. Her name is America Chavez. She has the unique ability to travel across the multiverse. Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch, has her sights set on Chavez, intending to take her power to use for her own ends. With the fate of the multiverse hanging in the balance, Doctor Strange must stop the Scarlet Witch and save America Chavez. Multiverse of Madness starts off with a bang. That opening scene with Strange and Chavez fleeing through a trippy-looking dimension provides great eye candy and establishes the film's premise quickly. The plot moves at a brisk pace, leaving enough room for character development to give the audience time to breathe. Visually, the film is fun to look at, not quite as acid-fueled as the first Doctor Strange film, but it offers its own appeal. The editing and cinematography are classic Sam Raimi, with the close-ups of the eyes, there's these quirky angles, there's overlapping imagery and cuts. It feels very much like the Evil Dead films at times. And it definitely also holds more of a horror vibe. There's a segment of the film featuring a reanimated corpse, and the makeup looks just like something you'd see in like Army of Darkness. The action is a lot of fun, more gory than other MCU entries. The fight with the giant octopus monster has that look and pacing from Sam Raimi's work on Spider-Man, and it's just as exciting. And I think there might even be some locations that they went back to that featured in Spider-Man 2. In short, Sam Raimi has not lost his touch with the genre. Performances are all decent. Benedict Cumberbatch's character feels like a natural progression from the first film up to now. He's still abrasive, but he's a little softer and a little more humbled by the licks he's taken. Benedict Wong is always likable as the wise and somewhat exasperated Wong. He's never treated as incompetent or unworthy of the title Sorcerer Supreme, which I appreciated. He has integrity and fights the good fight, tooth and nail. And he gets a reasonable amount of screen time, and I hope his character continues to develop in future entries. Elizabeth Olsen plays the Scarlet Witch with great relish, giving the character a certain level of sympathy even as she goes on a relentless path of destruction. As a character that has been consistently robbed of happiness, it's easy to understand how she's so blinded by desire that it becomes easier and easier to abandon any former scruples. And there are a few moments of scenery chewing, I will grant you that, but she manages to dial back on it before it gets too cheesy, fortunately. Newcomer, Xochitl Gomez, I think that's how it's pronounced. She plays America Chavez, and the character has a nice bit of banter with Strange. She's just this scared teenager who's always on the run, doesn't know how to use her powers, and she's not even sure whether she can trust him. And her powers, much like her character, are intertwined within an arc that works organically for the film. She serves as sort of a MacGuffin, but she never feels like she's just set dressing. She adds to Doctor Strange's growth, and he adds to hers. Now, with all that being said, I think it's clear that the MCU is starting to run out of steam. Now, with the exception of Spider-Man No Way Home, Phase 4 of the Marvel films they haven't made much of a splash. It's become a bit tired and formulaic. The multiverse concept, which was used to great effect by the aforementioned Spider-Man film, it's not utilized with the same level of success this time around. Spoiler. There is a moment in the film that reveals other superheroes from the multiverse, and there's in particular there's one new hero that's introduced, and there's one that's a very familiar face. And is clearly meant to elicit the same kind of excitement as Tobey and Andrew's appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home. But it falls flat. And when it comes time for them to do battle, it's disappointing. I mean, you have these characters brought in, even though they're multiversal variants, they're very easily dispatched, and I think it was a bad creative decision. They should have been given time to shine first. The film has moments of inaccessibility that require being familiar with Marvel's TV shows, Loki, What If, WandaVision. And for those like myself who just stick to the movies, this is a bit of an annoyance. The MCU is already heavily self-referential, and adding TV shows into the mix only makes it more of a chore. It could be worse, but I think they needed to integrate the established lore better. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is an enjoyable flick that continues Sam Raimi's great work, both in horror and superhero genres. It's got great visuals, action, but it doesn't always handle the characters and lore as well as it should. I still recommend seeing it. It's a fun ride. And I look forward to what comes next. So until next time, ladies and gentlefellows.